Hi, I'm Valerie, 29 years old. For a long time, I couldn't share my story due to legal constraints, but now I can. I want to share my experience as a cautionary tale for my mother-in-law, Felicia. I hope she stays away from us in the future. Adrian and I met through our mothers. Felicia, Adrian's mother, and my mother, Veronica, had been close friends for years. After a long period of not seeing each other, they reconnected and realized they both had single children. They decided to introduce us, and a week later, Adrian and I found ourselves at a coffee shop together. Though it was a bit awkward at first, we quickly found common ground and bonded over our shared interests in action movies and pizza. We were so absorbed in our conversation that time flew by. As the sun set, we said our goodbyes with a promise to meet again soon. Our next date was a movie night followed by pizza, and over the next 2 months, we continued seeing each other regularly. I fell deeply in love with Adrian, and it was clear he felt the same way. His face would light up whenever he saw me. He listened attentively to everything I said and often surprised me with thoughtful gestures based on our conversations. His sense of humor, attentiveness, and care for me were some of the many reasons I fell for him. Eventually, I took the first step and asked him to be my boyfriend, and he eagerly agreed. We proudly introduced ourselves as a couple to our parents, who were thrilled that their matchmaking had succeeded. However, I soon noticed a shift in Felicia's demeanor. She became distant and occasionally made snide comments. Whenever I confronted her about it, she would dismiss my concerns or insist I was overreacting. This behavior troubled me, so I confided in Adrian. He was upset and vowed to address the issue with his mother. I was relieved by Adrian's support. Despite his deep love for his mother, his willingness to stand up for me was a significant comfort. Although I'm not sure what he said to her, Felicia's behavior improved, and our interactions returned to normal. Adrian and I dated for 2 years before getting married in a small, intimate ceremony with close friends and family. Shortly after our wedding, tragedy struck. Felicia's house was destroyed by a fire caused by faulty wiring. Thankfully, she was unharmed as she was out of the house at the time. With nowhere else to go, we welcomed her into our home, where she lived with us for the next year. During that year, Adrian and I were thriving in our careers and felt it was the perfect time to start a family. We were ecstatic when I got pregnant within 2 months. We had always dreamed of becoming parents, and the realization of that dream filled us with joy. However, our happiness began to wane as Felicia grew increasingly controlling. I was struggling with severe morning sickness, cramping, and swollen legs, which made managing household chores and work exhausting. Felicia's patience wore thin as my condition worsened, and she started demanding that I do her chores despite my condition. One day, I came home early from work, feeling overwhelmed by pain. I lay down to rest, but was abruptly woken by Felicia's shouting. She was furious that I hadn't done her laundry. "Valerie, why didn't you do the laundry today? Now I have nothing to wear." "What are you talking about? It's your responsibility to take care of your own laundry," I replied, disoriented from being woken up. "I'm in so much pain right now. Are you trying to start a fight? Pregnancy isn't that bad. You're just exaggerating for attention," she retorted dismissively. "You have no idea what I'm going through. Balancing work and household chores while feeling this unwell is extremely difficult." "That's not my problem. I was pregnant once too, and I never had it this bad. Get out. Get out of the room. Get out of the house. Get out of my life. How dare you accuse me of faking my pain? Do you think you can feel what I'm feeling? Just leave." Felicia looked taken aback and quickly exited the room. I was stunned by her audacity and cruelty. How could she dismiss my suffering so callously? At that moment, Adrian arrived home from work. Concerned, he rushed upstairs and saw his mother hastily leaving the room. He entered our bedroom to find me crying uncontrollably on the bed. Without hesitation, he sat beside me, holding me close as I sobbed. After a while, he gently asked, "Why are you crying?" Through my tears, I recounted the entire confrontation with Felicia and her ongoing demands. Adrian's anger flared as he prepared to confront his mother, but I stopped him. Seeing my distress, he took a deep breath and calmed down. "Why didn't you tell me sooner? I know how much this upset you. I didn't want to create more conflict between you and your mother. I felt sorry for her and kept it to myself," I explained. "I understand why you did that, but I should have known what was happening. You need to share everything with me, especially when it's affecting you this way." "I'm sorry, darling. I should have been more open. We're a team, and you don't have to handle this alone. I promise I'll address this with my mother calmly, and I want you to be there with me." Together, we walked to Felicia's room. I was anxious about Adrian's reaction. His protective nature and quick temper worried me. And I hoped he wouldn't act in a way he might regret. Felicia looked taken aback when Adrian and I entered her room. Why are you both in my room? What's going on? Cut the pretense. Mom, Valerie has told me everything. You've been constantly berating her over the household chores, Adrian said firmly. She should be handling them. After all, I'm just a guest here. You could have either done them yourself or waited for me to get to them. It's a woman's job to manage household tasks. You'd never catch me asking you for help with these things, Felicia retorted. I don't care about your outdated beliefs. This is my home, and you need to respect that. If you can't follow my rules, then maybe it's time you found somewhere else to stay, Adrian replied. You can't do that. I have no other place to go. The only reason you haven't already kicked me out is because Valerie asked you not to. But if you push me again, I won't hesitate. I'm giving you one last chance. You need to treat Valerie with the respect she deserves as part of our family. Fine. I promise I won't cause any more trouble. Just please don't make me leave. Good. Things need to change. Respect Valerie, or there will be consequences. The remainder of my pregnancy went much more smoothly. As I progressed, my symptoms eased. Finally, I gave birth to a healthy baby girl, whom Adrian and I named Ava. We were overjoyed to welcome her into our family. After spending 2 days in the hospital, Adrian picked us up on the 3rd day before heading to work and brought us home. Felicia greeted us warmly. Oh, look at my precious granddaughter. You've done such a wonderful job, Valerie. She's the most beautiful bundle of joy. Thank you, Felicia. That means a lot, I said, feeling grateful for the positive words. Valerie needs to rest now, Mom. She's just given birth, and Ava kept her up all night. Don't worry, I'll take care of the baby. You go and get some much-needed rest, Felicia offered. I don't want to be away from Ava so soon, I said hesitantly. Trust me, you'll need this rest. Mom will take good care of her while you recuperate. Okay, but just for a couple of hours, then I'll take over, I agreed. That sounds fair. You rest, and I'll look after Ava, Felicia said reassuringly. Thank you, Mom. With that, Adrian headed off to work, leaving me to rest and recover while Felicia cared for our newborn. I went to sleep while Felicia looked after Ava. A couple of hours later, I was jolted awake by Ava's loud crying. Concerned, I went to check on her, only to find that the sound was coming from Felicia's room. I wasn't sure if Felicia was deliberately ignoring Ava or if she was simply sleeping through the noise. I knocked on her door, but there was no answer. I tried to open the door, but it was locked. Panic began to set in as I banged on the door and yelled for Felicia to let me in. After a few minutes, she finally opened the door just enough for me to see part of her face. Felicia, what's going on? Let me see Ava. I'm teaching you a lesson, she said coldly. You can't rely on Adrian for everything. You need to take responsibility for your duties around the house. This isn't the way to teach a lesson. You're being cruel. Let me have Ava back. I need to make sure she's fed and safe, I pleaded. Complete your chores first, and then you can have Ava. The longer you take, the longer your child goes hungry. Fear replaced my anger. I was desperate to ensure Ava's safety and well-being, even if it meant enduring Felicia's harsh demands. I couldn't understand why she was being so cruel right after my childbirth, but I had no choice but to comply. I asked Felicia what needed to be done. She listed a pile of dishes to be washed, dusting and vacuuming the house, and scrubbing the common bathroom clean. She also warned me to finish everything before Adrian returned and to keep this from him, or she'd make things even worse for me. Nodding through my tears, I set out to complete the chores. Despite the pain and exhaustion from childbirth, I pushed myself to clean the house. I took painkillers to prevent fainting and was careful not to strain my stitches. The physical strain and emotional stress had me crying throughout the process. I wanted to tell Adrian, but I feared what Felicia might do to Ava if I did. I was relieved when Felicia managed to get Ava to stop crying, but my anxiety about the future persisted. I wished for a way out of this ordeal, and the universe responded more favorably than I had hoped. Adrian came home 2 hours early, intending to surprise us. When Adrian walked in, he couldn't find me anywhere. Noticing the light on in the common bathroom, he walked in to find me on my hands and knees, scrubbing the floor while sobbing. His face showed immediate concern as he rushed to my side. "Why are you doing this to yourself?" he asked, his voice filled with worry. Seeing him only made me sob harder. Adrian pulled me into his arms, gently stroking my hair as he waited for me to calm down. Once I had regained some composure, I explained what Felicia had done. Adrian's anger was palpable, and this time, I didn't try to stop him. Adrian stormed to Felicia's room and banged on the door. When she opened it, she looked at him in surprise. "Adrian, Why are you home early? Did you forget something? I didn't forget anything. I came home early to surprise Ava and see my family, but instead, I found you punishing my wife in the cruelest way possible. Oh, come on. I was just trying to help her become a better wife and mother. She needs to learn to handle her responsibilities. Help? That wasn't help. It was cruel and heartless. How could you treat her like that? She needs to learn, but not at the expense of our child's well-being, Adrian snapped. For her own good? Look at our baby. You had no right to involve her in your twisted lessons. She's just a baby. I know what's best for everyone, including you. Valerie needs to change. No, you need to change. I won't let you hurt my family anymore. We're done. I want you out of our lives. Adrian, you can't be serious. I thought you cared about me. I did care about you once, but not anymore. You've crossed the line, and I won't tolerate it. I will make sure you face the consequences. Adrian, please, I didn't mean for this to happen. It's too late for apologies. You need to face the consequences of your actions. Adrian turned and walked out of the room, handing Ava back to me. I cried tears of relief and joy as I held my daughter. I knew that Felicia's actions had been monstrous and that she needed to be held accountable. My anger burned hot, and I wanted to see her pay for what she had done. I turned to Adrian, who looked resolute. What are you going to do about Felicia? I'm filing a lawsuit against her. She endangered our child and harassed you. She needs to pay dearly for what she did, Adrian declared firmly. But Adrian, is a lawsuit really the right way to handle this? You and Ava are my world. Nothing is too much if anyone harms either of you. I can't believe she treated you like that. Thank you for standing up for us. I never imagined she would go to such extremes to get her way. I don't know what I would have done without you. It was terrifying. From now on, you and Ava will be safe. I won't allow anyone to hurt you ever again. True to his word, Adrian filed the lawsuit. A few days later, Felicia was served with a court summons. Shocked, she confronted Adrian. What's this summons for? You endangered my child and harassed my wife after she gave birth. I had to file this lawsuit to hold you accountable for your actions, Adrian said firmly. Adrian, please, I didn't mean to cause harm. I was just trying to help, Felicia pleaded. Your idea of help is twisted. You crossed a line, and now you have to face the consequences, Adrian replied coldly. But we're family. You can't do this to me. Family doesn't give anyone the right to hurt others. You hurt Valerie and traumatized Ava. I won't stand for it. Please, I'll change. I promise I won't interfere anymore. It's too late for promises. You have no evidence against me, Felicia said defiantly. I installed baby cameras the night before Valerie came home from the hospital. I have more than enough evidence of you mistreating my family, Adrian said firmly. Adrian, I beg you, don't do this. I'll do anything to make it right. You had your chance to be better. Now you must face the truth. You broke my trust, and I won't let you hurt my family any longer. In the following months, the court proceedings moved swiftly. Felicia was charged with a misdemeanor and sentenced to 6 months in jail plus an $800 fine. When the judge announced the sentence, Felicia broke down and wept uncontrollably in the courtroom. Adrian remained unmoved by her tears and looked satisfied that justice was being served. As I watched Felicia being led away in handcuffs, I felt a sense of relief. For at least the next 6 months, our family would be free from her toxic behavior. Adrian and I focused on raising our newborn daughter, Ava, and didn't let Felicia's actions overshadow our lives. We found strength in each other and in the support of our friends and loved ones. While Felicia served her sentence, she had time to reflect on her actions. Adrian and I worked on healing from the trauma she had caused. Though I couldn't fully forgive her, I knew it was important for us to move forward for the sake of our family. Felicia completed her jail time and sought counseling to make amends for her behavior. I wanted to believe she could change, but I remained cautious. When she attempted to reach out, I threatened to get a restraining order. Our lives gradually returned to normal. The pain Felicia had caused lingered, but we focused on building a brighter future and cherishing the joy Ava brought into our lives.